Hey everybody, my name is Jay, and this is I Have a Samurai. In case you guys haven't seen any of my videos before, as I said, my name is Jay. I go by JJJ when I go to tournaments. I've been competing now for about 10 years or so. I competed in 4, 5, and now 6, and the whole point of the video series is that this is a pre-recorded set of matches that I get to do extended commentary on. I'm sure you guys have heard live commentary where the matches are currently going on, and so the action is progressing too quickly to really talk about anything extensively. Really the time you get is like, he was supposed to punish this, but he didn't. He could have optimized this, but it didn't end up happening. This person has a bar, this other person doesn't. That kind of stuff. Here we get to talk about kind of the decision making that goes on, rather than just talking about what's going on as it's happening. This is going to be a little bit different than the videos that I had in Soul Calibur 5, if only because in Soul Calibur 5 I kind of started it late into the game, and so I kind of already knew everything that there was to know about like intricate matchup stuff. But here, I mean, the game's only been out for a few days, so I don't know anything. So this will be like a learning experience for everybody involved, myself included. And hopefully we'll get to learn particular matchups or, enjoy this kind of stuff together rather than just me pontificating about what I think should have happened in the match. So as you'll see here, I'm going to be the Grow on the left. I've been playing Grow pretty much exclusively since the game came out. As time goes on, I'll try different characters, including the one that's on my right, my opponent playing Geralt. I believe that so far, I would say this matchup seems to be okay for Grow. He might even win it. I think his aggression might overwhelm Geralt. Grow is a very sticky, very powerful character. Really, the only thing that you have to worry about uniquely with this character is the parry, the EX parry that he has. So as long as you keep an eye out for that, everything should be fine. So let's get this started. So right off the bat, he starts with one of Geralt's most powerful moves. It's an unseeable low that is a string into a force ball that has a hitbox the size of the sun. So the reason why he starts off with that is pretty obvious, where it's going to stop anybody from initially coming in. You're going to get the initiative right away because they're not going to be able to run in and block low. And also it's very difficult to whiff punish because the hitbox on the second hit is so large. So what I do is I just wait for the first one to whiff, and then I'll GI the second one. The reason why I pause is because I want to bring up that I believe that GI, specifically with attack strings, is going to be one of the biggest things that's going to happen pretty soon with the meta of Soul Calibur 6. Unlike 5, where a GI cost meter, here we can do it whenever we want to, which means that a lot of the characters that are string dependent are going to have to do a lot of guard breaks, or if you're dealing with a character and you're getting really frustrated with them, you can learn all of their strings, find out where you'll be able to GI, and then you'll severely limit the move list that that character has against you. That's going to be a major portion of the preparation whenever you're dealing with a character in a tournament setting. So I'm immediately going to go into stance mix-ups, into the unseeable low, and now I'm going into reversal edge. So the only thing I wanted to talk about with regards to reversal edge, because I'm sure everybody here has already seen a video on like how it works and what all goes on with reversal edge, the slightly more complicated rock, paper, scissors-y portion of it. The only thing that I wanted to talk about is the reason why I spam reversal edge so much is because of the meter gain. I feel like not a lot of people are talking about the amount of meter that you get when you activate a reversal edge, but as you can see, like, the match has been going on for 8 seconds, and I almost have a full bar. That's not nothing. That is a huge thing, especially for a character like Grow, where it seems a huge portion of his game plan is to activate Soul Charge and go insane. Grow in Soul Charge is immensely scary. For one, it's immensely scary now because nobody really knows the full capacity of what he can do. And secondly, it's really scary because it's not gimmicky, really. There are ways around certain things that he does, but it seems so far, at least to me, pretty legit. It's going to be pretty scary whether we're in the first first month or the 50th month of playing Soul Calibur 6, assuming it stays the same as it is now. The only other thing I wanted to mention about Reversal Edge is, specifically with Grow, you never want to do this where you give him the K option. Grow doesn't really get any damage off of the B or the A if he's right, but if he's right about the K, he gets a full combo, which you're about to see. So you definitely don't want to give him the K. Plus, I shorten the combo a little bit so that I can go into stance stuff yet again. So he has me pressured against the wall. You see him 2A there, which is essentially the Soul Calibur version of a Street Fighter jab. Slightly weird tracking off the Grow 6SP. That happens a lot more than I like to admit. And you see me end it with a 1K. 1K being one of his best moves, I would say. Grow definitely has a lot of strong, not high damaging, but a lot of unseeable, high utility lows. 1K is a huge one, if only because of the tech crouch window, which I'm finding is really reliable. I can practically rely on it even when I'm at frame disadvantage to tech crouch under highs and a variety of other things too. So he goes for the same thing, but I'm not ready for it this time. A lot of people like to just press down or up when they screw up their stance transition like that. I like to use the A, which is a little bit janky, I'll admit, and it just kind of like throws me really far away, and my opponent kind of fell for it, so I get like the back turn move, which is pretty high damaging once you get the combo. And there he pressed a button when I did the guard break. So essentially, I have the ability to just throw out a 3B there. If you think I'm going to do a 3B, just block it and you can AA punish. And I'm out of the stances at that point, so you're not going to be dealing with the same kind of stance stuff. This is the other low that he has that's incredibly high utility. So 1K I've already talked about. That's 1A. 1A is incredibly powerful in the sense of it catches grounded, unseeable low that also catches step. And here, as you're about to see, he has started the round off with a move both rounds that have happened so far. And so this time I decide, well, I'm 2 rounds ahead, so no big deal. I'm just going to start out with a 3B to just get him out of my face. So he goes for his Reversal Edge, and this is something that I've noticed with a handful of characters. Characters that can activate Soul Charge and can immediately potentially pressure you with a move, love to use that move. For Geralt, it's the fire, so you can immediately sidestep. And so for characters like this, I would say that the best thing to do right off the bat is to sidestep, to see if they're immediately going to go for the easy pressure. Other characters that can do this would be like Nightmare, who likes to do Soul Charge right into the drill. Hell, a lot of Nightmare players like to, I activate Soul Charge, and they immediately go into the drill. As well as another one of those where he can do, I forget what it's called, but I think Tim called it a sword car when he was doing commentary at ECT, but it looks like it's going to have a huge hitbox, but it actually seems relatively linear, so where you don't have to respect it when it comes to sidestepping it. Oh yeah, plus 1A is at frame advantage. So one thing that I wanted to show right there is kind of like the post-GI situation that Grow can do. So I've GI'd, and when I do a GI, and I feel like the majority of characters should be able to do this, I feel like this is the most optimal thing to do with a GI is, so once you GI, your opponent can GI back, or they can decide not to, right? So if they're going to GI back, assuming you have something, now nobody has a guard break that's as good as Grow's, but if you have something similar, in fact I would say that most of the guard breaks that I've seen, just the universal A+B guard breaks that characters have, can do this. If you think they're going to GI back, the best thing to do is just guard break them and get a huge lethal hit combo. I think that's the best thing to do. So either they're going to GI back, in which case you do a guard break, or once you GI, you think they're not going to GI you back, and so you just do a 3B. I feel like, as far as I can tell, that's the best thing to do, is either guard break or 3B. And on the other end of it, if you think they're going to do a guard break, if it's a guard break like Grow's is linear, so if it seems a little bit hard to think about, like right when it's happening, when you're first starting out, but you get GI'd and then just move away, just move to the side. You can't do that from a handful, like Nightmare's traditional guard break is going to be like a high horizontal. I think Zoslamel is the same kind of thing, but getting GI'd and then mashing, as scrubby as that kind of sounds, is actually going to be a good thing to do in those kinds of situations. And one of the other things to note is that when I go into stance out of that Scarlet Swing, that guard break that I'm doing, you 100% have to respect it. If I do Scarlet Swing into B, you can't mash, you can't sidestep. And that's the end of the first game. I'll talk about Gro's stance transitions a little bit more probably in another video. The only thing that I wanted to talk about is that guard break is one of the few transitions that he has into stance where if you blocked the attack that he transitions into stance with, then you have to respect it. You'll have to just block one of the moves. Any other stance transition, like the ones that are like, fast attacks that he goes into stance with, you can just mash AA or 2A and you'll knock him out of the stance. I see a lot of Gro players online kind of just going really quick into stances from things like 6xB plus K and a handful of other moves, but you can punish literally all of them. I've got one more match that I want to talk about, which should be coming up. Oop. There we go. So yeah, this is me against Sophie. This time around, I believe right now, because nobody knows how to play against Gro, that Gro is going to win. But as time goes on, I would be surprised if Sophie didn't beat Gro. I think this is going to be a situation where Sophie is the Ryu of Soul Calibur, very, very powerful, almost always, has universal tools that are very strong, just her solid fundamental play. Also very strong when it comes to block punishing and whiff punishing. So I think as time goes on, once people learn where Gro is unsafe, Sophie will be able to kind of sit at a particular range where Gro can't really get her away and punish anything that he does wrong and just kind of pick him apart, which is very frustrating. Now, this was not the first time I played against a Sophie player, so I'll admit I'm doing stuff that I wouldn't necessarily do right at the beginning, like when I first play against somebody. But I'm essentially just going to be spacing him out most of the time. So you see I get this lethal hit. This is something that I saw Okadan's Wrath doing a lot at ECT, so I wanted to give it a try. The move that I'm doing it with is 6A plus B, which is unsafe on block, but when I say it's unsafe, I mean Sophie might get a stab. I'm not sure. Nobody's done that to me yet, but you definitely get an AA. And so you look at the damage that I just got off of the lethal hit off of 6A plus B. Even if you punish it and hit me with an AA 3 or 4 times, I'm still winning out on the damage. So I think in terms of a risk-reward ratio, I'm still clearly in the lead, even if I'm doing something that's a little bit risky. The only thing that would make this super risky is if you're just doing 6A plus B, kind of like what I'm doing right now, 6A plus B in the mid-range, and your opponent ends up whiff punishing you. Then you could potentially get launcher punish, and that's real bad news. So he mashes on Wake Up. That's kind of risky. I could have just done 3B and knocked him out of the ring. So right there, as far as I know, when she goes into that twin angel step into the A, she has 2 options there. The one that you just saw was the guard break, which is linear, so I could sidestep it, or she can go into a horizontal low, which you can either block, GI, or be really awesome and jump it. So once you see that she does the first A, you want to probably take a bet. You either want to jump the low or sidestep the guard break. I didn't either because I'm stupid. This is one of the other things that Gro is really good at, is that his 2-2B lethal hits. I could have gotten a stab there. She didn't get the stab. And I 2A. But yeah, he's very good at... That's kind of his hidden tool when it comes to zoning and spacing, is that his 2-2B lethal hits whenever the opponent whiffs a vertical. So it's pretty high damage if I get a whiff punish like you just saw there. I keep him from trying to... And so you saw right there, this is kind of one of the things I wanted to talk about. So I've done 6BB, right? So if I do anything other than B here, his mash could potentially beat me. So I do the B, right? And so I hit him with the first B, but then he mashes again and he's going to beat me out. The only way to beat a mash in that kind of situation is to hit him with another B. So essentially, every time you see Gro doing a B, it's because he thinks that you're going to press a button. If he ends up doing anything else, then that probably means that he thinks you're going to respect it, to kind of give you an idea as to what a Gro's mindset is going to be. Gets hit by the string. And I'm just going to keep backing up. I'm just going to stay right in the mid-range. There's no reason for me. There's that 1K again. It's going to tech crouch under like an AA if he tries to do it. And here's that 2-2B that I was talking about, that lethal hit. And there's no reason for me to really go up against him right now. I do kind of the same thing over and over again. No reason to do anything different. There's no reason. So you look at my health bar, there's no reason to try and force the round to end. I'll let the round essentially end as it should. If I go over to that ring edge at the very, beginning of that, so I could go over there. So like technically I could go for like a 6-6B and try to finish the round, or just run up to him and do like a 2K or something like that. But I don't know, man. We're right at the ring edge. I'm not 100% sure on what Sophie can do when it comes to reverse ring outs. I have like a few ideas from like older games, but honestly, like a whole bunch of stuff could happen. Look at that, I've got like such this huge life lead. There's no reason for me to force the game to try and finish. I'll just let the game unfold as it should by going into the middle. And as you can see, sometimes the opponent will just hand you the round on a silver platter. Isn't that nice? So again, there, he can just AA punish me there. And so now, he's just kind of getting beat up by lows and mids and all kinds of stuff. Okay. So he's being a bit weird there. So yeah, he keeps like walking and blocking, which isn't really like a thing in this game, but I feel like he's kind of missing. Like he blocked a 3B. He could have AA punished me there, maybe even stab, I'm not sure, and had his opening there. So I'm not really sure what he was looking for if he wasn't looking for me to kind of panic like I did. I gave him the out, and he didn't take it. Kind of unfortunate. Here's that lethal hit again. And so once again, I'm just going to let him kind of come to me. But of course I'm wrong. But here I can just mash a 2-way because even if I'm wrong and he does like a strong meaty attack, I have so much health that if I'm wrong like 2, 3, even 4 times, he's not going to be able to kill me unless he gets like optimal meter usage combos and stuff. But yeah, those are the 2 matches that I have for today, and I hope to see you guys next time. All right, thanks very much.